esteemed guests and participants, welcome to Feeding Minds Skill Forecasting for Higher Education. I am Assistant Professor Lorena Jean Saludades and I will be your MC for today's event. Feeding Minds is a special FMDS series dedicated to knowledge sharing and upskilling among our faculty and staff. Recognizing the significance of this topic and its potential impacts on our students, we have extended this initiative to include them in today's session. Without further ado, please help me welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Management and Development Studies, Dr. Joanne V. Serrano, to deliver the opening remarks.
Can you hear me?
Yes po.
Okay, isang maalab at mapagpalayang araw sa inyong lahat. It is my honor to welcome everyone to this momentous event. Feeding Minds is an established series within our faculty, the Faculty of Management and Development Studies, that aims to facilitate knowledge sharing, best practices, and upskilling among the faculty members and staff. Building upon its success, FMDS is now expanding the Feeding Minds to incorporate mentoring and application of learning components for other UPOU constituents, including students, alumni, and partners. It is our pride to have this undertaking as we provide a space and a platform for knowledge sharing, collaboration, and application of learning. Today's Feeding Minds is entitled Skills Forecasting for Higher Education, and as the Faculty of Study, which is composed of a collective of various disciplines spanning from the health to the environment to management and to the development fields, FMDS deals with policies, program and development concerns related to environment and natural resources management, land valuation, research and development, nursing, international health, social work, public management, entrepreneurship, and sustainability studies. Through this platform, FMDS is committed to staying at the forefront of educational innovation and ensuring that higher education continues to evolve in tandem with the demands of the rapidly changing job market. Now, in an era marked by technological advancements and dynamic economic landscapes, the ability to forecast and adapt to future skill requirement is paramount. And I'm grateful to our esteemed faculty member, Dr. Leo Mendel Rosario, the program chair of the FMDS Diploma in Master of Research and Development Management Program, Ms. Sucheta Zhu, coordinator of the United Nations Joint Program on Decent Employment for Youth in Cambodia, and Dr. Darendra Wardana, senior planner of the Ministry of National Development Planning of the National Development Agency of Republic Indonesia, for being our esteemed speakers for today's event. And thank you for that you will share your insights, research findings, and practical strategies that will empower our constituents. So to our speakers, please allow me to thank you in advance for your engagement in this webinar. The discussions as well as the questions that would afloat during your presentations will help us collectively navigate the challenges and opportunities in the field of higher education. And to our participants, I hope this seminar will leave us all with a renewed sense of purpose and actionable insights to shape the future of higher education. So once again, welcome to Feeding Minds and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dean Joanne, for reminding us of the relevance of this event. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce our first speaker. Mrs. Suchita Su is the coordinator of the United Nations Joint Program on Decent Employment for Youth in Cambodia, led by the International Labor Organization. She has been serving the ILO for 8 years. Before joining the ILO, Mrs. Su worked with Oxfam America and managed a multi-country program on community-based saving group covering Cambodia, Lao PDR, and East Timor. She has 20 years of professional experience in various fields, including youth empowerment, enterprise development, financial inclusion, and women's economic empowerment. She graduated from the Geneva Graduate Institute with an executive master's degree in development policies and practices. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mrs. Suchita Su.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Could you please confirm if you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes, Miss, we are audible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for confirmation. So, good morning, colleagues, professor, our faculty, fellows, students, and other participants who are joining online and also face-to-face in the conference room. So again, as introduced by the MC, my name is Suchita. I am coordinating the United Nations Joint Program on Decent Employment for Youth, and I am based in Cambodia and also originated from Cambodia. And in my capacity of coordinating this UN Joint Program, I have been on the lead of the program development. Right now, we are finalizing the design of our phase 3, which is supposed to start in March this year. So I am so pleased to be part of this session, and let's let us take it as not a lecture, but a sharing of information and knowledge. And I am also looking forward to learn from all of you. So hopefully we will have a chance to have question and answer after all the presentations are concluded. And feel free to react, if you don't agree with what I will be saying, you can give the thumb down, or you agree, you give the thumb up, or you can give the applause, or you can raise hand if you have questions or clarification and so on. So my presentation would focus on the essentials of skill forecasting. But before that, I would like to invite all of you to share your insight. I'm sorry, I'm having problem with moving with my slides. Do you see my slide on screen? It is still on the title.
The slide is visible on the screen, Doctor. I misses it too.
Yeah, but I'm trying to move it to the second one, but that's not good. Could our IT colleague can help to move it from there? Apologize for this. Yeah. All right. So to kick off, I would like to hear from you why skill forecasting is needed. Why do we need to talk about the skill forecasting, especially for higher education? So may I invite you to join the Slido survey, and then you can type, whatever you think, and then I will also run Slido from my side. I hope you are seeing Slido is coming up on the screen. Yeah, I see one participant is typing. Please enjoy. And let's just take a few minutes for this. Yeah, of course, to avoid skill mismatch. To build the capacity of the manpower, I guess, when you write manpower, and to anticipate what needs to be focused in the future, to ensure that the course offer are adaptive to the needs in the labor market. Of course, to be at the forefront of the training program, to adapt to the technological change, need to reskilling, upskilling, and yes, of course, we need to make an accurate prediction, but somehow the prediction cannot be purely accurate because the context may change. especially in the context of, pandemics, for example, and the rapid revolution of the industrial revolution, technology, etc., to identify the skill needs by the employer and also to help the young people to shape their career and to make the selections of their skills development program. Okay, thank you so much for participating in this skills forecasting needed insight. So it means that you all know that skill forecasting is very important. And you may have also know that many countries, including Cambodia and also in Philippines, we are all experiencing persistent gaps between the skill needs in the labor market and those are provided by the workforce. So skill anticipation is a strategic and systematic process through which labor market sectors and also actors who are playing in the labor market can identify and prepare the skill to meet their future needs in the labor market. So allow me to go back to the presentation, and you can keep providing your insight into this in this Slido. I will keep it online and keep it alive. So, like I mentioned, when you also mentioned in the slide though that when we have skill forecasting, it will help us to avoid potential gaps and mismatch between skill supply and demand. And it's also enable the actors, including the training providers, our young people, policymakers, employers, and worker organizations as well to better shape the educational and training programs and also the choices. And especially through the institutional mechanism and information resources, it will lead to improved use of skill and human capital development for the country. So now, then we should have another questions to ourselves. What would be the consequences of the skill gaps? Because previously we were discussing about the importance of the skills forecasting, right? So what happens if there is no skill forecasting, and what happens if there are skill gaps? So what are the consequences? So this time again, I would like to invite you to join by sharing your understanding, your insight and views through the Slido, which is now launching. Yeah. Consequences when we have the skill gap, so underemployed, young people will get employed but not in a decent working condition, with less working hours, low pay, and they may also end up with unemployment, cannot find employment, or perhaps end up with working in the occupation that they cannot use what they have learned in the school, in the university, or in the private institution. Of course, it's related to inefficient of the performance in the workplace. And I see a colleague work about work ethic. Perhaps I can request you to open the mic and elaborate a little bit more. What does it mean when you write about work ethic? May I invite you to speak up, please? For colleagues who work about, who wrote about work ethic, what does it mean, the consequences related to work ethic? All right. I guess this is mean, the industrial relation between employer and employee. When the skill gaps happen, there would be, some there would be some conflicts between employer and employee, some negotiation, discussion needed when both have to do, performance appraisal as well. And also, I see a colleague write that the consequence would be the problem with the assessment of the student readiness for the job, for the transition from school to the employment. Students are not equipped with necessary skills in the workplace and so on. So here, the insights that we receive from from participants here are more about individual, and however, the consequence of the skill gap have implications to all actors, including individual, countries, and also employer. So let me go back to the slide. Here is a snapshot, somehow, to summarize what you have contributed through the slide, though, that the consequence of skill mismatch have implication on the individual. And unemployment, you already mentioned, and they need to take another jobs than they are qualified for. They would get low job satisfaction, loss of motivation, lower productivity, the quality of output, and then it also has implication to the country, the whole country system, that the country cannot have national competitiveness, or it, threaten to the national competitiveness, cannot compete with the international standards, and cannot attract the investment from international investors, and public cost of employment benefits is high. So, for example, in many countries that have already launched the unemployment schemes for social protection, meaning that the cost to support unemployment would be high for the country to be responsible for, whereas for the company, they will have difficulty to hire the right people, the people who have the right skill, and need to work harder to retain the staff, to provide more compensation, to ensure that they can retain the most talented and the one who provide higher productivity to the workplace, to the enterprise, and it would lead to loss of competitiveness if they have higher turnover, and it also low productivity in sufficient product qualities, and also low of supplies to the demands. So this in the snapshot, that's how the skill forecasting and the consequence that we see that importance. So that's why we need to take into account very seriously when we are talking about how we can have the young people to have a smooth and right transition from school to work. So of course, we need to have skill forecasting to ensure that the skill that we provide, that the training provider provide, and also the country provide, and also the private providers, including the enterprise, provide the skill that are responding to the need of the labor market and also to the industry. Next, I would like to also move to the another slide, but it gets stuck here. Okay. So quickly, I'm sure that our colleague Darendra, our next speakers, will touch in detail about the key driver of change that have implication on the skill. But however, I just would like to invite you to view a YouTube, which gives a global overview of what are the key drivers of change that have implication on the skill that we have to pay attention to. So let me invite you to watch. Is the sound okay? Is it on top? Sorry, could I hear from someone if the sounds works okay?
Yeah, good.
So I'm not seeing anything.
Mrs. Su, have you already played the video on your end?
Yeah,
Sorry.
the one that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. The one that's still being projected is the last one with global drugs chain. So there's no video.
Okay. Hold on. Let me stop sharing the screen and then. Sorry, sometimes technologies also create problems, challenge for us to deal with. So that's why we need to upgrade our skills to respond to the technological change. So could you please confirm if you see the video on the screen right now? Yeah.
What
And the
are the
time.
jobs of tomorrow and what skills will be needed in the future? I think nobody really knows. We know now that the penetration of technology and digital content in all sectors will be much more profound, and therefore STEM skills, as technology, engineering, and mathematics, will be in great demand. But of course, the demand for skills goes way beyond just technology-related skills in higher education. All technologies will require deployment technologies, which means also business-like and leadership skills, management skills, project management skills, commerce skills, marketing skills, and also skills of vocational training type for those people who operate technologies and maintain technologies. And this will be really massive scale. So it's not only higher education. It's also vocational education and training. We also know that there will be multidisciplinary skills required to deal with multiple tasks in the workplaces. And the workplaces themselves are not going to be anything of what we know today. There won't be lifetime jobs. People are likely to have to change their jobs multiple times per their career, but also hold different jobs at the same time. So therefore, individuals will be much more managers of their own careers, and that skill is also something what is required. We also need to develop the so-called core soft skills, employability skills. These are skills which are applicable across different occupations and sectors, such as teamwork, initiative, creativity, critical thinking, problem solving. Communication is a great skill. Of course, there are tools to use to forecast future skill needs, to project jobs of the future, and we have a number of tools, the whole collection actually in the ILO, that help us also to work with countries to develop their capacities and implement systems of skill needs anticipation, and to help them to understand how different drivers of change, such as technology, demography, globalization, and other drivers would change their labor markets, would change their world of work, and what kind of skills will be required. So therefore, what we're trying actually to promote with countries is more really process-oriented, qualitative approaches, where we build institutional relations built on social dialogue, helping the regular exchange of information about the labor market needs, so that education and training, policy, and also design of curricula and training programs are well informed, and so that also potential participants, young students, future students, their parents, children, and also adult people who would like to requalify have a better information about future needs and the labor market.
Thank you very much for watching, and maybe we can take 1 minute to reflect. What are the key takeaway that you have learned from the messages from the video? You can also type on chat and open the mic to speak, especially colleagues, fellows who are attending in person. Yeah. What are the key takeaway from this? Anyhow, you can keep providing your insight. At the same time, I'm trying to move my slides. Sorry. Yeah, here the summary of the key takeaway from the video, it is that the future of the demands go beyond technology-related skill in higher education. It will require deployment of skill for those technology. For example, business like leadership skill, management, project management, marketing, and so on, as well as operation and maintenance skills, which can be provided by Tibet training. And there will be no lifetime job. So means that our job may have to change according to the context, according to technological change, and according to the demand in the labor market. And we may even have different jobs at the same time, and also have to become managers of our own career, to be a self-employment or the employer of our own. And we need to develop core skill, and this is also part of lifelong learning, that skill beyond technical skill that require us to perform better in our workplace, that include problem solving, critical thinking, teamwork, communication, etc. And like here, the last point that I would like to make here is about the key takeaway is that there are tools to protect jobs in the future, which I am going to speak about in a few minutes. But before that, I just would like to summary the key point of the key driver of change that has implication of the skill, which I believe our next speaker will speak in detail. So the key drivers include demographic changes, educational attainment, globalization of market, technology and innovation, labor mobility, climate change, and the change in work organization. So here, let me take the last opportunity to touch on essential component of skill need anticipation or skill forecasting, which is the main, element of my presentation. In the not only when we have the skill need assessment or forecasting, we need to fit the information into the labor market information, so that the employee, the job seeker, can access to information to identify the jobs that they would like to have, and also it would serve the information to the policymaker to set the training program in higher education, in technical vocational training and education, and also to establish the new national program and so on. Pardon me. please also have to remind me how much time I would have, and then I will speed up my presentation. And here I would like to touch on some skill forecasting methodology. Before I start with each methodology, it means that there is no definite methodology that we should use only one. So in some circumstances, in some countries, methodologies are mixed. However, I can also talk which methodology that Cambodia usually use. So the first method that I would like to touch on is the Delphi method, which is widely used, widely used as an exploratory technique which aim to structure group communications. Ideally, Delphi method is to collect the information from the expert, the view insight from the expert of what are the skills needed in the future from the insight, from the view, the research of the expert. And normally, these Delphi methods are conducted to serve five objectives. One is to determine or develop a range of possible program alternatives. Second, to explore and expose underlying assumptions or information leading to different judgments. To seek out information which generate consensus, to correlate information judgment on a topic, spanning for a wider range of discipline, and to educate the response group to the diverse and interrelated aspect of the topic. So normally these Delphi method have also, a step to take. So for example, starting from the problems, identifying of the problem with all method, which apply for all method, and then selection of experts, preparation of dissemination of questionnaires, analysis of responses, and on so forth. So I would not go into detail in this, but I will leave the presentation with all of you so that you can, do further study. And if there is any clarification needed, we will have opportunity at the end of the session to discuss. And also, you can also reach me out after this event. Then the second methodology that I would like to share is what's called graduate survey. Yeah, I will answer. We will discuss the question in the chat box later. Thank you. You can keep asking, sending in the chat box. So the second method is a graduate survey. That the survey among the graduates to understand, whether the skill that they have learned have responded to the need in the workplace that they are now working at, and also to measure the employability of graduate, to understand where are they right now after the graduate, and also to get the feedback from them to improve the study program. So this is related to whether the skill they learn match with the skill needed at the workplace, or whether is there any other new technology that they would have to upgrade, reskill or upskill in the workplace or by the different institution. And the third methodology is called scenario development and foresight. And this is the most well-known and most cited as a useful technique of thinking about the future, which not only the policymaker use it as to, conduct a policy analysis to help making the decision on the national programming and so on. Employer survey is also another method which is very common, and the method that Cambodia has been using so far is the employer skill survey. So this survey is an instrument designed to generate data on employer demand for an investment in skills. So for example, to understand what are the skills needed in their enterprises within 1 or 2 years or 5 years, and responding to their projection of growth, responding to their projection of, the change of their businesses, etc. And it has to define the type, level, and composition of skill that individuals need to perform the work demanded by their enterprises. Normally, it can be designed to obtain past or current information, which can be anticipate which type of occupation will be in higher or lower demand in the labor market, and which skill will be the key in the future, etc. So normally for the employer surveys, the topic cover, first of all, driver of change skill needs, the skill gap per group of occupation, assessment of grade A performance at the workplace, whether they perform well or lower than expected, recruitment practices and difficulty. From the employer survey in Cambodia, we also learned that employer have challenges or have to fill vacancy, have a challenge to hire the right person for specific occupation, and that to also evaluate and provide evaluation for education training policies, and also to ensure we make the right change for the demand for skills, the right change in the training, curriculum development, and so on. The next method is called focus group. So I'm sure you all know, because this is like other survey, for other purpose, that we collect extra information from the focus group to inform for the information that we receive from other methods. So for example, if the country decide to use the mixed methodology, a comprehensive mixed methodology of employer survey, survey with the graduate, complement by the focus group, etc. And not only the focus group also serve as a purpose of to get information from the interviewee, from the group member, but also to allow the group member to learn from each other insight and to discuss among themselves. This is the sectoral approach. Sectoral approach have advantage and disadvantage. Sectoral approach to skill anticipation is defined as one which look at changing skill needed from a perspective of a particular sector. So such approach include study, longer project or program that adopt methodological or analytical viewpoint of sector. But it cannot, the finding from the skill forecasting using this sectoral approach cannot apply to other sector if we focus on one or two specific sectors. Yeah. So my last point is to talk about what are the data sources that we can find to generate, or to support, to inform the skill forecasting using different methods that I have described it earlier. Sorry, my slides didn't start again. Okay, there are 6 data sources. One is labor force and other household survey. It has its strengths and weaknesses, which I will leave it there, and then you can, have a view later. And then enterprise surveys, this is connected to one method that I mentioned earlier, administration data and tax and social insurance. In the country, there are, administration data on tax and social insurance registry, where we can understand where people work, what occupation that they are in and what occupation that they are looking for. And the fourth is the public employment service registry. So for example, in Cambodia, we have our National Employment Agency that they have registry on job vacancies, and also the number of young people or job seekers that are looking for a job, and what are the occupations that are looking for, and what are vacancies that are available in the labor market. And the fifth source is a real-time big data, which we can find from the internet, digitized information from the TV, etc. And it also has strength in its weakness. So I guess real-time big data, we can also connect with the use of AI to identify, to search for information on internet. And the last source is other source that include tracer or sector studies. So normally it's relatively low cost. If we do tracer study on telephone, it can give more understanding your underlying cause and processes, etc. But however, it has a weakness that is that cannot be easily validated, no representative, and risk of overemphasize of the marginal issues and ad hoc information and so on. So here is the list of the source of information where we can find. It depends on each country. So like Cambodia, we have National Institute of Statistics, we have Ministry of Labor, we have Public Employment Service, National Employment Service Agency, research institution where we can provide, where we can search for the data, and also we can search data on internet, the web provider. However, we also need to acknowledge the challenge that in Cambodia, not many data can be found on internet. So we need to really identify where are the source of information, whether this publication, produced by which ministry or which research institution, then we should go to that institution directly rather than searching on internet. So that's all for my presentation, and I'm sorry that if I take too long, but I believe we will have a chance to discuss further after we finish our presentation. So I thank you so much for your attention, and I would like to hand over the floor back to our MC.
So thank you so much, Mrs. Su, for the enlightening overview on the importance of skills forecasting. This is such a relevant topic, especially considering the volatility of the job market at the present day. This really made me realize as well that there's a lot of rethinking that we need to do in our approach from a broader systems level to an institutional level and even at an individual level. So that we may be able to adapt to these rapid changes. So thank you very much again. Now let's continue to broaden our discussion by introducing the next speaker. So our next speaker is Dr. Dr. Darendra Wardana. He has been awarded a PhD in Development Studies with reference to emerging economies from King's College London in 2018. He has been working as a senior planner in various units of the Ministry of Planning National Development Planning Agency since 2006. Here to share his insights and professional experience on skills forecasting, let's put our hands together for Dr. Darendra Wardana. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Distinguished participants, guests, panelists, and students. Really pleased to attend this event. This is my honor to share our experiences, our progress with regards to the topic that we discussed today. As Mrs. Suchita mentioned, I think it's really good opportunity to treat this session as a discussion forum, as a dialogue. So please feel free to jump in with your questions, comments, feedback, critics, anything in the chat box, or if you would like to raise hand and so on, just please do. I will share a little bit of our experience in my office. As MC mentioned, that I've been working in the Ministry of Planning for nearly 20 years, basically. So it's been a long time. Our unit basically manages planning and budgeting process from program design, monitoring, evaluation, and all that to our counterparts, Ministry of Employment. So in Philippines, probably it's equivalent to NEDA, National Economic Development Authority, more or less. In my unit, basically, we also do some pilots, some experiments to the policies. One instance is doing the skills forecasting through the development of labor market information system. So I am happy to share anything that might relevant to the topic of today's discussion. So basically, if I would like to begin the discussion with responding to the question, to what extent is the importance of skills forecasting? I think it's good to understand the cycle, how the economy works, how the manpower contributes to the economy, how labor market interacts with other factors in the economy. So basically, the essence or the main thing of the economy is on the labor market, which encompasses labor supply and labor demand. Basically, when this supply and demand meets, uh, we can assume that the market is efficient and the result is optimal. We can expect betterment of various indicators, not only development, social, employment, but other things. And by the end, we expect to have economic transformation. So basically, if countries like Indonesia, the Philippines, Cambodia would like to upgrade the country level status from low income to medium income to high income status, we have to start by this design, how to ensure that the labor market works effectively, efficiently, and indicators shows that our economy works well, and we can expect that the economic transformation is taking place. And as in Mrs. Socheta's presentation with the video, I would like to mention one or two things about the future jobs. So probably I am sure that you are already familiar with automation, with technological revolution, demographic changes, climate changes, big changes, mega trends, and all that. And every time I touch upon this issue when I give a talk in front of students, webinars, university students, high schools, uh, they seem to be worrying whether there is any job at all for them in the future. If the jobs are replaced by robots, computers, technology, and all that. There is one thing, but there are also other factors, basically, not only technology, but also culture, climate. We expect to have more climate-friendly jobs, green employment in the future. We would like to anticipate to give as much jobs as possible to the youth people with the demographic dividend as now it's happening in Indonesia or other countries with with huge youth population. We expect lots of changes in terms of cultures. In Indonesia these days, youth almost always listen to K-pop songs every time. So it affects their lifestyle, their diets, their shopping schedule, and all that. So there are numbers of factors basically. But by that, if we would like to respond to the worrisome of the students, then we have to do something. One of the things is that we have to adapt with the skills needed in the job market, in labor market. And now that we can see the importance, the relevance of skills forecasting within this context. And I think this is the ladder, the step of how labor force transition works out of automation. In Indonesia, basically, we have the experience of uh, replacing the freeway attendant. Basically, if we would like to enter the highway, the toll highway. We in the past, in the last 10 years, we have to pay by cash or card to the attendants. But starting from at least 5 years back, 5 years ago, these attendants are no longer in their place. It was replaced by a machine, by a screen, and all that. And within that experience, we see that those attendants, those workers, need to change occupation. They need to find another jobs or jobs that still relevant to their skills. If not, they need to master or to acquire different set of skills to survive. And also at the same time, with the sets of new technology, that workplaces, employers, business need to change as well. So these days, I think we have seen lots of changes, basically with lots of new products, new delivery mechanism and all that. And basically, we will come up with uh, effect, the impact of automation to the wages. So not only to acquire a new skills, but we have to show the productivity relative to what the machine, the computer, technology show. So we have to compete with those technology. And I think you are already familiar. If not, then I can suggest you to check with publications from World Economic Forum if we would like to discuss about future jobs, future skills. What are those? What are employments that might be emerging in the future? There are numbers of important skills that we need to master. Mrs. Suchita already touched upon that. I will not repeat, but basically, those are the skills that might not be uh, mastered by machines, technologies, computer and robots and all that, like creative thinking, analytical thinking. Sooner or later, we have to upgrade or to increase the capacity of these skills because, with the AI, ChatGPT these days, they can also do what we are doing basically. In Indonesia, we've done lots of surveys, lots of data collections to see what are jobs relevant in the future, what are skills needed and relevant in the coming periods. And we've done many basically pilot studies. We've done a critical occupation list in 2018, and we identified 35 occupations that are strategic to increase the productivity, to empower the worker and all that. We also released employment outlook back in 2020. So we make the list of uh, jobs that are required, jobs that are needed, badly needed in manufacturing and services sector. And Indotask is the occupational task and skills. This actually we would like to replicate what the ONET surveys in the US to the context of Indonesia. So we would like to know what employers expect from the workers, from the labor forces, their attitude, their skills, capacities, and all that. You can check the details in the link. I will share this material. Uh, Basically, if we would like to make these surveys regular, it is very This is not cheap survey. This is very expensive, very sophisticated, and it takes time to analyze, even to collect the data itself. So in the future, we would like to build basically more regular or more convenient data collection, analysis through the labor market information system. We look upon the examples done by Korean government. They have the Korean work map. So basically, if you see our Korean friends, labor forces, youth, they always rely on WorkMap rather than LinkedIn or other job portal because this already reflects their needs to to seek for jobs, to increase, to find trainings relevant to increase their capacity and anything. So this is basically the result of the surveys of employment outlook surveys we've done previous year. So we had occupations with many status like prospective, not really prospective, drive, team, and so on and so forth. So I will skip this list, the details. Basically, there is a caveat on this finding. This result only relevant for around 5 to 10 years because the job market is so dynamic that we need to have this as regular as possible. So this is basically the result. There are a number of high skilled prospective jobs, but unfortunately in Indonesia we can only fill in the medium to the lowest occupations, lowest level skills for each occupations. For employers, they see that basic skills are the most important ones these days for numbers of occupation, ranging from speaking, reading, listening. These are the basic skills that employers still expect to the labor forces. We replicate or we did the same survey, same studies to the other sector, infrastructure, transportation, and warehousing in the following year after the employment outlook and Indo task surveys. We find also similar findings, more or less similar findings, that demand is increasing, more skilled jobs are there, but unfortunately that human resources are not ready yet. So we still have homework, lots of homework to increase the skills, the capacity of the labor forces to fill in these prospective jobs. And these are also the lesson learned that we can find that skills are an economy's DNA. Jobs are defined by skills, not by certificates, not by portfolio to some extent, but portfolio is also constituted by skills, and skills will determine the productivity, level of our wages, competitiveness, and all that. So future works will be shaped by skills. More works can be filled only if we can acquire skills. This is one of the instances that accountant is one profession that is very vulnerable to be automated. But if we can remixing the skills, the DNA of the jobs with computer skills, data skills, and other skills, then we can move or to expand the level of skills to other professions, for data scientists. And this finding you can find also some argument from many authors like David Epstein, Whitbrain. So people these days are expected to be generalists rather than specialists. because things changes very quickly. And I think this is the last part of my presentation. I would like to mention one of another example of the policy that is currently in progress. There is the development of green jobs. So basically, with uh, the initiative of climate-friendly economy and all that, we expect that businesses to change, business process to change. So these days we hear lots of initiatives pertaining to the uh, early retirement of mining sectors, coal mining, the generator, and grid system. So there are lots of initiatives basically, but the challenges is there. People are not uh, really familiar yet with the green jobs definitions, green jobs concepts, and all things that are related to this green employment, green skills. At the same time, we can see, of course, there are numbers of potentials, these green sectors. And we are now starting to build the definition, to introduce these concepts, to increase the awareness, and hopefully we can utilize or use the opportunity of many strategic cooperation like just energy transition or other international collaboration. And we have to agree upon the definition, the concepts, and all that. And I think I will skip that. Yeah, we need to identify what are jobs and skills required to welcome this green jobs, green employment in the future. What are those skills needed to the future labor forces? What are the skills that need to be acquired and all that. I think I will just skip this. And last but not least, I would like to mention this is one of the result of our project. We would like to list what are available occupation in this website, occupation map, or peta okupasi in bahasa Indonesia. Currently, we call it like 2006, nearly 3,000 occupation, ranging from maritime sector, electricity, communication, and all that. And we like identified what are considered important, what are considered future jobs, future skills, green jobs, green skills, and all that. And some of the stakeholders, like Ministry of Education, already utilize this occupation map to enhance the curriculum of their vocational high school, vocational university, academy, and all that. So we began to introduce like micro credential, occupation certification for students, teachers, and all that. And also last time I and Mr. Tita met in the ASEAN forum, one of the ASEAN activity. One panelist mentioned about the program training, vocational training program, and these programs are designed considering the inputs from studies we've done, like Employment Outlook, Indotask, and other studies. So basically, this is the role of skills forecasting. We anticipate, we identify, and we adopt or utilize those skills or those occupation that are emerging. And I would like to close my presentation with the progress on our current project in building the labor market information system. So currently, Government of Indonesia, supported by the World Bank, now develop this LMIS. Hopefully, in the future, we can have a world-class labor market information system as Korean government had, I mentioned in the previous slide, with the Korean WorkNet. So we can anticipate many changes from global megatrends. I think that's about it from my presentation. I would like to see if Do you have any comments, or questions, or feedbacks, or critics? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wardana, for a thought-provoking presentation on the future trends that will shape the job market. So this really confronts us of the urgency of being adaptive in the skills and capacity building, because these changes that were mentioned, such as growing automation, the reliance on new technologies, and even environmental factors, do have or create challenges to job security. Again, thank you very much. Moving forward, allow me to introduce our third and final speaker. Dr. Leo Mendel Rosario is currently the program chair and assistant professor of the Diploma in and Master of Research and Development Management of the Faculty of Management and Development Studies. He also teaches physics courses at the Diploma in Science Teaching and PhD in Education, major in Physics Education at the Faculty of Education. He finished his BS in Applied Physics, MS in Physics, and PhD in Physics from the National Institute of Physics of the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He also finished his diploma in Research and Development Management at UPOU in 2020. Dr. Rosario also attended the OS for ASEAN short course on skills forecasting for the Fourth Industrial Revolution of the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia and Griffiths University in 2023. Everybody, please help me welcome Dr. Leo Mendel Rosario.
Thank you very much, LJ, for that very generous introduction. Um, my talk is about, I'm Leo Del Rosario, and my talk is about somehow um, an application of the two talks that was previously about, which is skills forecasting. So, Suchita Su, Mrs. Suchita Su talked about the skill forecasting methods that can be used. And then Dr. Darendra Wardhana um, uh, explained to us the significance of skill forecasting in the labor market, which is skill forecasting is essential in driving or continuing the economic growth of a country. Because if you have job mismatch coming from skills mismatch, then it lessens or derails economic growth. Now, for my talk, we would apply skill forecasting and the essence of skill forecasting labor market specifically for higher education institutions, no, where most of our participants are coming from. But before that, I would like to explain that the resource speakers and even I attended the Australia for ASEAN Skill Forecasting for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, supported by Australia Awards and conducted by Griffiths University last year. So this series, these three talks are somehow an re-echo of what we have learned from that training. So there were 26 participants from 8 countries, and actually it was the application process for this was quite rigorous because there were 800 plus applicants from the whole of ASEAN, and only 50 were selected for the training. So we were very fortunate to be chosen for that training short course. So the overview of my talk is as follows. First, I'll discuss about the skills demand and the skills forecast here in the Philippines, historically. And then from there, we would like to, I would be giving you a sample skills mapping of a program in a higher education institution, and then followed by the integration of a skills map to the programs of a higher education institution. So first about skills demand and forecasting in the Philippines. In 2019, so the Philippine Statistics Authority has ranked the importance of skills needed by the industry in 2018, and they projected the skills needed by by the laborers by 2030. And as you can see, no, so there is a change in the rank of skills, right? So as you can see in 2018, management is top 2. But they are projecting that by 2030, it becomes only at rank 8. This is because there is already business intelligence and AI that can assist in the management of people and resources. Now, it is very important in 2030 that the top, they project this, no? And we have learned in our short course that if your projection is quite long, then it's not really that reliable. And 2030 is quite a long time. There would be disruptions in technology. So these are just projection. So the rank 1 as projected by PSA is evaluation, judgment, and decision making because they relate it to the assistance of the AI, where you need some decision whether to uh, forgo or rely on the AI analysis. Okay? But of course, as you can see in 2018 and 2030, digital and ICT skills are on the last rank. No? So maybe we need to have a perspective why they are on the last rank. Because maybe it's just a platform. The application of ICT as a sample of evaluation, judgment, and decision making is more important than the utilization of a digital platform. Now, that study was years ago. But last year, no, for a study conducted by Economist Impact by 2022 to 2023, with more than 1,000 employees across the Asia Pacific and 100 employees from the Philippines. Now I'm showing data for the Philippines, and the top skill for 2022 to 2023 is quite surprising. No, it's not even technical. It's a personal skill on self-management, which are stress tolerance, resilience, and flexibility. But besides that, digital skills are still important, are very important, that are demanded by the industry. And if you look at it, specifically for the Philippines, they identify that AI and machine learning are now being on demand by the industry. Okay? Now, in terms of the motivation for skilling for lifelong learning of our workers, no, it is very important. If you look at digital skills, there are two important reasons. Number one is easy access and availability of online courses. So they are motivated to have digital skills in order to um, enroll or register for online courses for more lifelong learning. Now, sorry, let me go. Happen. Biglang it jumped. Sorry. Can you go back to can you assist me? Yeah, it suddenly jumped. Okay, so the third motivation, as seen from the arrow, is the work environment has changed, right? So digital skills, online work has somehow been in a mix in terms of in-person work. No, that's why they need digital skills. And there are other reasons for analytical skills, soft skills, screen skills, and more of this is for a higher pay. But what I want to emphasize here is the reason for the motivation for digital skills. Because it opens an avenue for higher education to develop online courses. Okay? To be able to adapt to the 4 IRs, fourth industrial revolution skills needed by our laborers or workers. No? Now, however, there are barriers for upskilling of our graduates or workers. No, first one, top one is poor internet access to join online courses, not enough time to spend time on learning new courses because of the work, high cost of courses, and it has been seen that in a higher education institution, tuition fees are always increasing. It's always increasing. Lack of training opportunities and options at work, and difficulty attending in-person courses. And if you look at these reasons, they are for me they're on equal footing, although they are ranked, no, according to percentage. Now, I think higher education institutions should go on offering massive open online courses, MOOCs, or micro credentials. And fortunately, UPOU, University of the Philippines Open Universities, are offering uh, different courses for upskilling or reskilling. And you can show it is seen on the screen the different courses offered by UPOU from January to December this year. And I hope you can enroll on those courses. Now, in terms of skills matching, there are gaps with higher education institutions or HEIs. Number one, no, innovation is rapid. And with technology being rapidly integrated into the industry, new skills are needed, right? And because of this catch up of new skills with the higher education institution programs, degree programs, there's always traditionally a mismatch between the skills obtained by the graduates that can be used in the industry. And besides this, no, studies are not really conducted every now and then to determine the skills mismatch between from the industry demand, right? So these are the gaps in the higher education institutions for skills matching. So although there are skill forecasting methods that are available, it's not straightforward for HEIs to use this because of certain challenges. And as a personal experience, normally we conduct tracer studies. No, HEI conducts tracer studies because of quality assurance and compliance, right? And QA and compliance does not take in a year, right? You prepare for that for a cycle of 3 years. So when you are able to respond to the industry demands for certain skills, then it's the skills demanded by the industry have changed already, right? So it's a catch up problem for HEIs. Now, how do HEIs try to leverage skill forecasting? So one of the methods presented by Miss Suchita Su, is skills mapping. And skills mapping is the collection of inventory of skills of individuals or degree programs, and it is used to identify new skill sets to be added to the curriculum or for training of the students or graduates for that matter. Now, I would be reporting to you one of our papers with the Professor Jane Reyes on skills mapping of a degree program here in UPOU. And we have presented this in the National Conference on Open and Distance E-Learning back in 2022. So let's differentiate, no? What is reskilling? What is upskilling? So reskilling is learning new skills, skilling for new functions or for a new type of employment. On the other hand, upskilling is skilling or getting additional skills for your current employment. And reskilling and upskilling are both important. You cannot choose one because in our employment right now, with the new demands in the industry, with the new technologies needed, you need to reskill somehow. Before, AI is not being used in has not been used in HEIs, but now it's somehow ubiquitous. No, it's part of teaching and learning, and you need to create policies for that. So somehow teachers and educators need to somehow have a skill on AI utilization for teaching. One of the programs that we look at for skills mapping is the Diploma in R&D Management, or DRDM, which is a postgraduate program that is designed to develop knowledge and enhance skills of research managers, researchers in government agencies, research institutions, and HEIs as well. So the objective of the study is to formulate a skills inventory or a skills map, specifically on the program, which is R&D management, determine the particular skill sets related to innovation generation and agile innovation management, because these two skills are part of the fourth industrial revolution skills needed for R&D management. And then we have related it to the employability of our alumni, but I would not be presenting this data here. Only the skills inventory and the new skills needed by our students and graduates. No? So this is an initial study. So we conducted this. This is actually a tracer study for 20 of our alumni represented by different batches. No? And it's difficult to conduct tracer studies. So you need to have many platforms to get some data. So we had interview, FGD as a group. No, we have also online survey. So this is one of the challenge to for formulating a skills map for your program. You need to be resourceful in terms of data. So here's what we did. No, we asked them, what are the skills you have gained from the program that you have applied in your workplace, in your profession? And we have two types of graduates for our program. Those are who are working with R&D management, meaning to say they are R&D managers, they are researchers, or they are support to R&D offices. And the other one, they're not related to R&D, but they opted to get the degree. So as you can see, what I would like to emphasize to these two diagrams is that the new skills learned by those people, those graduates who are not working in R&D related employment, is that more on project management, which is starting a project, monitoring a project, as well as technology management, product development, something like that. But if you look at the group of those R&D alumni working with R&D offices, they have a different skills that they have learned. In terms of technology management, as you can see, they do not anymore use product development. They're more on technology utilization and technology transfer, which is currently a challenge normally with technologies right now. And if you look at project management on R&D alumni on the right side, they did not mention anything because they are used to projects already, unlike the graduates who are not working with R&D. Okay. Those are new skills. And if you look at enhanced skills, well, of course, we would expect that graduates who are not working with R&D offices, R&D alumni, would have lesser enhanced skills. And these are more on general management. Unlike the R&D alumni, there are a lot of enhanced skills from organizational management, project management, and technology management. So this skills map says that the program is relevant because the skills gained by our graduates are being applied on the industry. But currently, the skills map does not focus on fourth industrial revolution skills. So we would like to find that out. So we asked several of our graduates, if you look at the third column of this table, we asked them what course or skill you've gained in the program you have used in innovation generation. That's the third column, innovation generation skills. And several courses appeared, no? Project management, technology evaluation. So still, the program is able, although the program is not focused on innovation generation skills, the courses have contributed to it. Okay? If you look at the sixth column, Agile Innovation Management, there are still courses leading to that, like creativity management, strategic management. So this says that the courses on our program indirectly matches the fourth industrial revolution skills needed by the industry. But we are not satisfied with this because we need to align our curriculum to the four IR skills needed by the industry. So we asked them, no, what are the skills that were not taught to you or were lacking that you need to work on your profession? And we classify this into several categories, no? Project planning and control, technology commercialization utilization, and agile project management, lean management is actually an industry benchmark in terms of innovation generation. So the industry is at that level, but the academe in terms of innovation generation has not really caught up with that. So that's a skill that needs to be reinforced in the curriculum. But it's not straightforward. Although we have identified it, it's not straightforward to implement it. So that's a challenge. So before I go to the next topic, I would like to emphasize that skills mapping is really important in order to catch up with the industry need. You can use skills mapping for that. And you just ask simple question. What skills have you gained from the program that you are applying in your profession right now? And they would tell you there are missing skills that I need. So it's part of skill forecasting. And you would like to project it. But of course, these data are limited. You need employers' perspective on this, not only the employee. And also a lot of stakeholders in the field. Now, so we are done with skills mapping, but how do you integrate those findings in the skills mapping with your program? What approach can you use? So I'm also presenting to you a study we have conducted from the Philippine delegate from the short course from last year, from TESDA. I have collaborators from TESDA, PNU, and Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Philippine Chambers Commerce and Industry. Okay, so although this study is about vocational education and training, it's somehow related to the problems encountered by HEIs. No, similar, no, similar gaps. Updating the relevance of courses for VET, no, TVET. Um, there are mismatch in terms of skills. It was reported for Tibet students from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. They lack 4 IR skills. And also the same for 21st century skills, no? Which are social skills, numeracy, no? Not really focused on AI and machine learning, and etc. So similar gaps. So this we can still apply this study to HEIs. So what did we do? Okay, so from the best practices that were reported during the short-term course from other ASEAN countries and from the modules and insights we got from the short-term course from Australia, there are 3 skills that are common to the skills demand in Australia. And these are sustainability, gender inclusivity, and AR and VR. And we would like to integrate this to an approach to integrate these best practices and these 4 IR skills demanded by Australia in their skills for the workforce into the training of here in the Philippines, for vocational education. And we use a DWE approach. The DWE approach is just looking at every step from the conception of a student to enroll in a vocational course up to their practice after they finish their training. So you look at gaps on each step. So from engaging people with VET, assisting them to apply to TESDA for that matter, and then preparing for the occupation, continuing education, seminars and trainings, and then innovation and learnings at work. So, so the Philippine delegate had a focus group discussion, and I don't want you to read each of the row, no? I just would like to show that the question for the first column is what is the status in terms of the different steps in the DB approach, different steps in VET. And then the right column, the third column is what are the gaps that needs to be addressed. And I would be focusing on innovations and learning through work because there is an integration of 4 IR skills there because they already finished their training, no? And here is the result of that in terms of diagrams, no? So in order to innovate, in order to add 4 IR skills in their programs, they need to strengthen their flexible learning delivery, and this includes books, micro-credentials, no? They need to establish or strengthen their polytechnic college institutes. In terms of current status, policy guidelines need to be updated to specifically emphasize and include sustainability, gender inclusivity, and what's the other one? Entrepreneurship on the programs. Okay. Ito na naman ako, nalilito na naman. Ang hirap. Anyways, so that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. And I hope you learned something from the current demand, skills demand in the Philippines and some projection, how to conduct skills mapping through tracer study, and how to integrate the 4 IR skills in the programs of HEIs. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rosario, for that, for your talk. We really got a glimpse of how this skills forecasting is operationalized, especially among our HEIs that are the primary institutions that forward skills and capacity building. And hopefully, all of us here apply these practices effectively into our own programs. So at this juncture, I would like to open the floor for any questions or for comments. So right now there are already questions in the Zoom, but some of them have already been answered, but let's discuss them further. So I will just read again some questions that have already been uh, posted. And can we ask Dr. Rosario also as well so that we can have more of an open forum type of discussion? This is a question that was addressed to Dr. Wardana, but of course can be answered by any of the other speakers as well. Do you think thesis writing is still relevant as a requirement for higher institutions since graduates will not write theses on their future jobs? So we can start with Dr. Wardana, to who the question was addressed. Thank you. Then we can go on to the next speakers.
Right. Thank you very much. I already replied these questions in the Q&A box, but I will repeat in case some of you cannot see the answer. In Indonesia, basically for Say that in some majors, some departments, vocational especially, thesis writing might be replaced or substitute to other projects. That is, I think, from my response. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mrs. Sochita, do you have any insights to add on this?
Thank you. Actually, I echo what with Dr. Narendra just mentioned. So, thesis writing is still important, especially to enhance the analytical skills, writing skill, and also the presentation skill. Of course, some subjects, if the thesis are linked, the subject of the thesis are linked with the current employment, it would be very helpful for the job, for the student themselves to apply their finding and recommendation into the job. And also it will be very useful for the organizations to gain the insight from the finding and recommendations to adjust and refine the program of the organization. So I raise one example from my own experience. I just graduated from the executive master program in Switzerland. So my thesis touched on motivational factors of young women to enroll in TVET in non-traditional field to understand why, while there are many young women attend take up the skill study in there are less young women take up the skills that are dominant by men, for example, in construction, plumbing, automotive, etc. So from the finding, and I made some recommendation from there. So besides, I gained the capacity in doing, practical knowledge, practical experience in doing research on my own, enhance my analytical skill. But at the same time, I use the finding and recommendation to improve my TVET program. So that's simply useful. And I still would recommend that we see this as a benefit of our work and also our personal growth. Thank you.
Okay, so we have here another question. Given the growing volatility of the labor market, will there come a time wherein it becomes more practical for individuals to build skill based credentials than to specialize in specific disciplines? Do current trends in the labor call for HEIs to reconsider their delivery of education? Dr. Leo?
Maybe I would like to seek the help of Dr. Narendra. Then I would follow up later.
Okay, so the mic is passed to Dr. Darendra.
Thank you. As I showed in the one of my slides in the presentation, that we are now moving to the skills-based recognition or micro credentials and things that might be relevant to the emerging occupation is a testament, basically, it's a reflection of the, the growing importance of that kind of phenomenon. So yes, I can agree that those specific sets of skills uh, are important to be recognized. And but I have to mention that, as I also showed in my slide, that you do not need to over specialize or ultra specialize, laser focus. You have to be open-minded, broaden your sets of skills, collect those micro credentials, collect those recognition as many skills as possible, as long as it builds up your competence, your competitiveness, your true self, your passion. And I believe with that, the collections of multidisciplinary or wide range of skills will help you at least to in the job market. I think that is the thing that I can give to respond to this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Leo, do you have
Okay,
something to add?
it's my turn. I think degree programs would stay. Like in the healthcare services, you need doctors, you need nurses, medical technologists. But on some areas of work, there might be a different tone or approach to this, which is skill based. No, so I think higher education institutions should cater to both because lifelong learning and learning is not a linear process for some of our students. They might enroll now, they may work now after and then study again. So we need to provide training to these kinds of options for the new generation, especially the Gen Z, because they have different preference, they have different learning styles, so we need to adapt. But I guess the main answer to that is it would come from the industry. Because if the industry would accept this non-degree and skills-based competencies, then it's really allowable. But I think there are a lot of employment right now who are more interested on skills rather than degrees. So it's a market or an opportunity for higher education institution to provide. And we have MOOCs, micro-credentials. UPOU is actually a main promoter of this alternative modes of learning, flexible modes of learning in the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Dr. Leo. Mrs. Su, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, thank you. From my point of view, micro-credential and skill recognition are still very important, especially for the lower and middle skill workers. There are many workers out there that they have learned so much experience, practical experience at the workplace. However, they could not, have chance to attend the vocational skill training or higher education because of loss of opportunity to do so because they need to allocate their time to earn income for the family. So micro credential and recognition or certification of their skill will be very helpful for them to upgrade their work to move on to another step, promotion, for example, and also to support their labor mobility. When we talk about labor mobility, it can be, they work from one country to another for migration from one country to another, or internal migration from rural to urban, and from a lower skill works to management position and so on. So yeah, recognition of prior learning and recognition of current competencies are very crucial. But the issues that we have right now and the challenge that we have right now, especially in Cambodia, and I'm sure there may be also similar with other Asian countries as well, that how we can make this, recognition of prior learning or micro credential really work. Meaning that once they are certified by this program, whether they would be able to use to pursue their higher education or to pursue the advancements of their career. So that's still a question that we need to, continue further discuss about how to make it work.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Dr. Su. Now we have other questions in the Zoom. We have uh, what are the essential skills, mindset, and core values that student graduates must have in order to successfully navigate 21st century employment and holistic living? Dr. Leo?
I mentioned this before in the economic impact data. Number one is the self-management skills as seen from that data, and then digital skills. But I have heard that from the vocational education from TESDA and some data on it that our graduates lack English proficiency skills and social skills as well, which are not uh, straightforward. I mean, it's not directly emphasized on the senior high school and maybe in vocational programs or even in bachelor. So although this might seem non-technical, these soft skills, no, they are very important in the workplace, as mentioned in the data before.
So this was also mentioned by Dr. Wardana. Could we ask for you to expound on this answer that you have posted in the Zoom?
Yes, thank you. Actually, I have one direct message from Edgar Saragosa, which I think also relate to the question that I already responded in the Q&A box, and probably already give a really good answer. I will repeat what Edgar asked to me. Uh, he said that not only skills, technical, behavioral, but I think we need to consider personality traits and drivers or motivations of workers. And he believes that these days employers are considering these traits and drivers, motivations as equally important compared to the technical and behavioral skills. I cannot agree more with what he mentioned, and also to complement what Prof. Leo mentions, that we have to combine those sets of skills. We cannot just rely on one or two technical skills, but we have to know, we have to understand what are the context, the environment, uh, personalities, and all that. So I think uh, I think this is also good to uh, respond to the trade-off, if you like, nurture or nature. Some people they have those characteristics giving them the edge or advantage to certain kind of jobs. But some believe that those might be changed. Basically, people who have no talents, who have no traits, can be easily shaped to be more competitive. I think if we combine those sets of skills, those mindsets, I think that will give more advantage to the labor forces. I think that is from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mrs. Su, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you. I just would like to expand on what Dr. Narendra and Dr. Leo mentioned about the essential skill, regarding to the question regarding the essential skill. Of course, based on the employer surveys that we have conducted in Cambodia, we learned that their skill gap remain persistent. So that's not include the technical skill, the gap in technical skill, but also soft skill. So soft skill include, like Dr. Leo mentioned, like management, coordination, digital skills, and also communication, teamwork, analytical skill. But here I just would like to add on a few things, which is cognitive skill, the skill to be able to adapt into the situation, to solve the problem, uh, to react, to adapt to multicultural context and so on. And the last one is also very important is the knowledge about their right and responsibility at work. So besides having those essential skills, they need to know what are their rights when they are becoming a young employee, right? Regarding to employment contract, working condition, on wage, leave, working hours, and right to be protected through social security, right to be protected for safety and health in the workplace, and so on. But at the same time, what are their responsibility to ensure that they provide, they perform well based on their required duty, contribute to the increase of productivity of the enterprises and also to the harmonious workplace. So for me, I call it like, life skill, but related to rights or labor law. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Su. So we've been giving a lot of opportunity to our Zoom participants. I've heard that there are questions on the floor. So can you please have, yes, Miss Jera?
Good morning. Um, Since we are always talking about higher education, I'm coming from the basic education, by the way, and I can see a lot of a parallelism between the problems of the higher education and the problems of of the basic education when it comes to skills and upskilling and reskilling in this case. And in what many ways can basic education optimize skill forecasting? I have seen a lot and have noted quite a lot about this one, but I also wanted to ask some insights from you, especially in reviewing and revising their curriculum to further give opportunities to their students, not only those who would want to go to higher education, but to those who opt not to go to higher education or TVET. Uh, the K to 12 in the Philippines has been pushing for the TVET, but they were taking away the opportunities from those students who doesn't want to go higher education but does not want to go to TVET. So there are actually a lot of skills that are in store for them, a lot of jobs in store for them, but these were not catered in the basic education nor in the higher education. And then does this imply that the schedule of courses and subjects in the basic education, especially in the high school, should prepare the students not only for college education, but for micro-credentialing and micro-skill transfers, and such as MOOCs and short rapid course settings? And what changes can be done in basic education in our case as of now, given that we are from the groundworks?
All right, thank you very much for that question, Dr. Leo.
Okay, there's a lot in what you said, no? But trying to get wisdom from what I heard, no? Because this soft skill problem has been identified by EDCOM too. The commission to address the low ratings in international exams, PISA, etc. No, and there was a question because uh, where do soft skills start to be ingrained to the students? Is it in college? Is it in vet vocational education? Is it in basic education? Because some people from HEI and TESDA, how can we suddenly improve the communication and social skills of the students? Because we are more focused on technical competencies. So before even going to skill forecasting like micro credentials and alternative credentials, I think the basic ed should focus on basic soft skills, foundational skills before going to micro credentials, because micro credential MOOCs, you need communication skills, digital skills for that, soft skills for that. So if you're not able to have those soft skills, then there's nothing to work on. So it's a valid problem. Who needs to train the students on soft skills? I think it's the basic ed.
Does this mean a change in curricular setting in the high school? The high school has been so focused on specific subjects, which uh, in my case, there is a lack of subjects that focuses a bit more on the social, the soft skills, and even the digital skills. Given also the very short amount of time that the students are in the school, most of their studies are usually incorporated only in the basic four subjects, SNT, numeracy, and some of the English skills. But since the reports already said that there is a low communication and language skills of the students, this meant that the communication subjects are not good, better implemented. And in what ways can we actually achieve that to implement it better or to change into something a non-specific subject? Is that possible?
Okay, it's a difficult question to answer because I'm not really a basic ed educator, but this is my opinion, and I may not share it with the others. Um, I think soft skills, whatever subject you are taking in the basic ed, is there. If you're taking science, if you're taking math, if you're taking English or what or any other course, it should be ingrained. So besides the content, there should be a focus on communication skills on each because it limits the student that you only speak English on an English subject, but the application of that English communication skill is through life, right? Wherever you will go, you need to exert or express your communication skills to strengthen it. I don't know, but maybe that's my take on it. Uh,
It's actually good, sir, that you said that because a lot of the teachers in the basic education often forget that their subjects is an incorporation of a multitude of subjects, and that includes soft skills. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so can we, if you have any additional insights, Dr. Wardana and Mrs. Su, do you want to answer the question that was posed in here on the floor? Okay, Mrs. Su.
Yeah, thank you. I think I can add with one sentence. I think for basic education or any level of education, I think it's also important to uh, cultivate the value of learn how to learn because everything that we acquire today might not be or might still be relevant in the future. So I think it's important to learn basically how to digest new things, to learn things. Uh, so never ending or long life learning, I think it's the keywords for this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Su.
Yeah, thank you. What I would like to elaborate is on about how to develop soft skill, including communication and teamwork, skill in the basic education system. So what I can share from the experience in Cambodia that I noticed the curriculum in our lower secondary school and also upper secondary school has been very well advanced and developed. So there within the different subjects, there is one subject called social study, which normally integrate life skill, soft skill and teamwork and problem solving through case studies, through literature, etc. And there has been also many extracurricular activities which expose our basic educator basic education students to expose with vocational skills. So, for example, during the weekend, they are placed with Tibet institution to learn, vocational skill that they are inspired of, for example, in electricity, in sewing or tailoring and so on. So that are ways to also, to create inspiration for them to already think what would be the future career for them. Also to test their inspiration and also their favorite, but at the same time to teach them to compare with the between the favorite of the career that they would like to have their dream job with the demand in the labor market. And in addition to that, life skill and 21st century skill that we have been so far call it as transferable skill has been integrated in lower secondary school from grade 7 to grade 9. So all this, effort that has been made by the government in Cambodia, I believe that this all means to contribute to develop all those soft skills from the early age. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Su. So right now we're running a bit over time. If you still have questions, please feel free to send them to fmdslinkages@upou.edu.ph and then we'll forward them to the speaker so that we can also answer your burning questions. So at this juncture, I would like to thank again our esteemed speakers. Now, to express our gratitude for sharing your valuable time and knowledge with us, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Trisha Ascan for the awarding of certificates. So we would like to present our speakers the certificate of appreciation Please allow me to read the citation. The University of the Philippines Open University Faculty of Management and Development Studies presents this certificate of appreciation to Mrs. Ochita So, Dr. Dardena Wardana, and Dr. Leo Mendel Rosario for serving as a resource speaker in the Feeding Minds titled Skills Forecasting in Higher Education given this 31st of January 2024 at the UP Open University, signed by Dr. Joanne V. Serrano, the Dean of the FMDS. Everyone, please give them a round of applause. Okay, so thank you very much. Now, I kindly ask everyone in our Zoom to turn on your cameras for our group photo. Let's- And everyone in where is it visible? For photo? For photo, where is the here? Okay po. For the on-site participants, please make your way in front. Thank you very much for being a part of today's event. Before we conclude, also please take a moment to answer our evaluation form. So please, everyone, let's go in front for the photo. Okay. Maybe we can move the screen a bit so that we can also see this. Is this okay? All right, thank you. So please make sure to answer the evaluation form. This will be displayed shortly. Those who complete the evaluation form can anticipate receiving a certificate of participation to your registered email address within the next 3 days. So once again, thank you everyone for your active participation and valuable insights. We look forward to welcoming you to our future events. Have a wonderful day.